Hi, welcome back to our educational channel. Now, we have been talking about Pachi Consult is all about nature's way of Pachi. But if we do not talk about the essence of the nature way, I think people will find difficult to associate what is actually nature's way of Pachi stands for. Because in the school of Pachi, there are many different schools of Pachi. There you have the common, strong, and weak day master school of thoughts. You have the blind man sect school of thoughts, and also there's one group who claim themselves to be the imperial party group. So there are many different system of party. These are only what I've just mentioned are just the bigger groups, the generic groups. But within these generic groups itself, there are many sub what you call subsects of these groups, of these bigger groups, because each teacher have their own experience and idiosyncrasies. So therefore, they also uh, sort of branch off in a slightly different way. Okay, now nature's way of Pachi is something that I gathered along the years of practicing, and then I consolidated the ideas of Pachi into this system we call the nature's way. So as you can see that, or as you can, um, what I'm trying to say is that Pachi is a system by itself, meaning it has to be from A to Z all the way. It's one system. So then it becomes a very seamless and coherent system. Now, what most people are trying to do there out there, and I think all beginners also, you probably have the same thought, is that why don't I take the best of everything? I take a little bit of Imperial Pachi, a little bit of Strong Weak, a little bit of Nature's Way, a little bit of Blind Man, you know? But in essence, the truth is this is worse. This is very bad, detrimental to your study and mastery of Pachi. Because every system should be a system by itself. And a complete system should allow you to read Pachi fairly accurately. Okay? Because in life, you cannot 100% everything will come from Pachi. Because, of course, I can say that because I do practice feng shui. I've seen many cases. So I know that in life, Pachi is to a large extent, yes, it has a big impact on us, but it's not the only impact. What about human actions, right? Human thoughts, human decisions. What about feng shui, right? So these are also other influences that is outside the party. But nonetheless, all these influences also do have an impact on our lives. Okay, now, so coming back to this, I think in the last video, if you have read, I think I have gone through the 10 heavenly stamps, but in a very brief manner. In this video, I'm trying to share something that is a bit more detailed, or that is more unique about the nature's way of party. Okay, so let me start off by looking into this. Okay, let's see. Okay, look at this. So this is the wood element, wood element. So wood element, there are two types of wood element here, two type heavenly stamp that falls under the wood. One is known as the jia. The jia is the yang wood. So you can see there's a plus wood there, plus jia. Then there's a yi wood. Yi wood is the yin wood. So that would be, I put that negative wood. Now, heavenly stamp is what you see here. Okay, let me change to pencil. Okay, heavenly stamps are all on the top row. Okay, these are all the heavenly stamps. So as you can see, Jia and Yi, they can appear anywhere within these four boxes. But so in this example, it appears in the hour and the day, right? So it appears here. And sometimes it also appears here. Like for example, here you have Yi, you have Jia, right? Now this part of it is known as the hidden heavenly stamp. But they are still heavenly stamps, okay? Just that they are hidden down here. That's all. That's why it's known as the hidden heavenly stamps, okay? So heavenly stamps, there are two types. Now, the most important thing in nature's way of Pachi is the metaphor that represents the each heavenly stamp. For example, Jia The simplest way to remember Jia is the tree, okay? And the simplest way to remember Yi is the flower. Okay, so that will show you a big contrast between yin and yang characteristics. So you see here, very young character, right? Very strong, very hard. And here's a yin character, supple, small, soft, and things like that. So it give rise to two different distinct character of wood, two different extreme of character of wood. You can be very extremely rigid person, or you can be an extremely flexible, adaptable person. So these are the two extremities that you can encounter as you deal with an element of wood. Okay, so you must always remember that Jia and Yi. So the way to write Jia is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So there's no protrusion up here. Okay, and Yi is just one simple stroke. Just one simple stroke. That's all. So that's an easy way to write Jia. Now, I do encourage you to recognize all these characters. Of course, if you can write it out, even better. But if you can't, at least you recognize them. Simple reason is because in all the software that you use, or even the Chinese calendar that you will use, definitely they are all written in Chinese characters. So it's good that you can recognize all these 10 heavenly stamps. So that will help you a lot in the journey of learning and mastering Bazi. And wood element, of course, is always green in color. So it's very easy to remember this part. Okay. Now, there are also other metaphors that involve between Jia and Yi. So this we will cover more detail in the class, but at least for a start as a beginner, it's enough for you for now, time being, if you can so-called grasp all this knowledge. So at least you know, let's say for example, sometimes my clients during the consultation, they say, hey, who am I say you are a tree. So am I a tree? So okay, fine. So if you are a tree, what does the character of a tree, what does the typical characteristic of a tree, right? So if you can remember these metaphors, it's easy for you to remember who you are. Okay, so that is something that they will help both you as a beginner or even some of my clients who wants to understand their party in a bit more technical sense, right? So then you will know the typical characteristics. Okay, next, after wood, we talk about fire elements. So fire element also similarly, there are two elements of fire. One is Ping, which is the yang fire, and Ting is the yin fire. So Ping is the sun, right? So it's very, very hot. It's the sun, it's very hot. Of course, Ting is the bonfire, right? It's a campfire. Of course, there are also other metaphors that surround the Ting, but I think the most easiest or way to remember thing is the bonfire, right? And being a yang fire, of course, is very hot, very big, very far, and it shines out very brightly. So this is a typical characteristic of ping. So the way you write it is ping. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. So this ping, right? Ting is two stroke. One left to right, one hook. Okay, that's the simple way of writing. So this is a digital pen, so it's a bit difficult to control, but the strokes are generally like this. Okay. So you see, it's the example. Also, it can happen in any of the four boxes. So in this example, it appears in the hour and day, right? And so happen it down here in the hidden heavenly stamp, there is one thing fire down here, right? So you can see that actually they are the elements of fire appearing in the chart. So it can appear anywhere in the month, year, or anything. So fire people are very strong. Fire people are very passionate about things, right? But the big difference between Ping and Ting is that Ping people usually they are more broad-based. Ting fire people they are more focused. They are more focused. They are not so suitable for multitasking, right? Whereas paying people are very good for multitasking. So it depends on what kind of job that you do. So you must understand your nature in order to gauge the suitability of a profession. So that's something we will cover more in during class. Okay, then what about earth? Earth element also there are two, yang earth and yin earth. Oh, so there's should be a minus here, right? So yin earth here. So this wu is the mountain. You can use the mountain to think of wu. So it's very big, strong chunk of earth, right? And then you have ji earth, which is a bit like this soil. They are very small, less, very fertile, and very manageable, easily manageable, right? So these are the typical two earth heavenly stamps. So earth usually they are yellow color, but here I just use brown to represent them. But actually, in actual fact, it should be yellow. Okay. So again, the same thing. You can also appear here. Now, in this case, it appears in the year and the month, and sometimes appears here, like right. For example, here there are two. So there's no jie down here, but there is wu'et here, right? So the way you write wu'et is okay. Uh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jie is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the way you write jie. Okay. So these are the two typical characters. So you can see that Wu Mountain represents people who are very sturdy, very static, very strong personality. Whereas Ji are more resourceful characters, right? They are more uh, resourceful. They are also more adaptable type of characters. Right? And they are also very good. Jia typically are very good for leaders, leaders who situational leaderships. Whereas Wu Earth is more suitable for, like, for example, uh, enforcement, right? Enforcement and things like that. So understanding the nature is very important, especially in our system of Baji. Okay, as you go further, then you will see why certain nature are better for certain things. Because that's the deeper part of understanding how this nature thing works. Okay, so what about metal? Metal, there are two, Keng metal and Sing metal. The common metaphor that most people use for Keng metal is the axe, but there are also multiple metaphors that is also representing Keng. Actually, using Keng X to represent Keng is just a very narrow view of Keng metal. There are more to that. And also there's Sing metal, which is a soft metal, yin metal. Soft metal means they are gold. Like for example, gold is a very soft metal. You can actually bite gold, right? Yeah, it's very soft metal, like tin, gold. These are very soft. Aluminium, they're all very soft metal. And of course, Keng, the way you write it is a bit more difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you add the dot on top. And Sing metal is you add the dot first. 1, 2, 3. The long, the short, and then the tail. Okay, so that's Sing metal. So similarly, it can also appear both in the heavenly stamp, as in this case, like this, or sometimes it can appear in the hidden heavenly stamp, like in this case. Okay, so in the hidden and the heavenly stamp. So of course, if it's a heavenly stamp and hidden, or is a hidden heavenly stamp, they are different implications. Okay, there are different implications, but nonetheless, you must first learn how to recognize these heavenly stamps first, because most people learning Paji, because Chinese is not their primary or mother tongue language. So the first obstacle is always about looking at the party chart and processing the information as you look at the party chart, right? So I think the most important thing is before you attend to any for party classes, it's good that you get yourself familiarized with all these characters first. So at least when you go to class, you cut off half the problem, that is you don't have to spend time processing, oh, what is this Chinese character here, is it metal, is it earth, is it wood. So yeah, so at least you can follow the class better, because most of the time when I speak in class, students have a tough time trying to understand, oh, is this recognizing this character, or is it what is it, metal, is it a wood, or is it a, so that slows down the whole process of learning, and then you lose out a lot of information along the way, right? Mm. So seeing metal people are what they call sensitive people, right? Seeing metal are very sensitive people. Kung metal are very blunt people. They are more blunt in nature. They are more coarse in nature. They are tougher in nature. Whereas Sing metal people are more sensitive, as well as they are, how to say, more sensitive, but at the same time they are not as tough as they look. They are sometimes very soft inside, maybe hard outside, but it's soft inside, right? So these are the typical characters. So these are some very simple characteristics. So if you can recognize the metaphor, that it will also help you remember the characteristics of each heavenly stem. Okay, now the last two heavenly stem are the rainwater and the Kui water. So rainwater is yang water, so it's like for example the lake. Okay, lake. Yeah, so this is a lake, a big body of water. Kui is like maybe a gentle rain, right? So these are gentle rains, the Kui water. Yeah. So you can also, for example, in this case, the rain appears here, then the Kui appears in the month below, right? And sometimes you see it also down here in the hidden heavenly stem. So there are two rain down here in the hidden heavenly stems, okay? So it can appear anywhere. And Kui water is a water element is like this. So it's the way you write it is first is here, one stroke. Then you go from left to right again, connect the vertical line. Okay, and Koi is one stroke, two, three. Let me see. I can't remember. It should be like this. One, two, goes in and out. So this Koi. Okay, so this is the Koi, which is the gentle rain, right? So big body of water are people typical characteristics. They are very mobile, very energetic type of people, right? Koi water a bit more gentle, they move a bit more slow, but they are also they're very attractive people, right? And they are also very down to earth type. Water people a bit, rain water is a bit less practical as the Koi water. So people with Koi water, they are more down to earth. Whereas rainwater, they sometimes you can see that they are a little bit more boastful, or a little bit more dare to claim certain things. Maybe it's not their work, but they dare to claim that it's my work, or they make it look like as if it's their work, right? So rainwater and Koi has this distinct difference between them, right? So these are the 10 heavenly stamps and their nature. So understanding their and remembering their nature in our school is more important than recognizing the character itself. But as I said, you need to recognize the character, because in any software that you use or any Chinese calendar that you use, without a doubt, you have to face these 10 Chinese characters. Okay, so this is a very simple introduction of heavenly stamp. So I do hope that it gives you an idea, because later on there are more information coming, like for example clashes, combinations. We will talk about the 12 early branches, for example, right? And there are many layers in Party. So it's good that you get yourself familiarized with some of these basic concepts, so that when you go to any class, it doesn't matter if you don't come to my class, it's all right. But at least in any class that you go in your vicinity of your area, whether in the United States, in Australia, in New Zealand, at least you are not burdened by recognizing the Chinese character. Okay, so that is all for today. A very short video. Well, if you like to support us, then just give us a like. Okay, thank you so much.